Yo people, and welcome back to another edition of Little Bro Vapes. I should say thank you very much to everybody who watched the last video. I know the content is a little bit different and we're carrying on with that with this. We are going to do a little bit of debunking, and my sort of thought of this is I want to give vapors a little bit of ammunition for when people come back to them and say, well look, vaping's as bad as smoking, and all these other links that it's got. Now, the two people we're going to have a little look at in a second have done a big video about vaping, and I'm going to debunk it a little bit. So I'll tell you what, have a look at these two.
Vaping. Time to start.
Put it down. If you're vaping right now, put it down.
So these two lovely gentlemen are called Dr. Paul Zalzal and also Dr. Brad Weaning. Now these both are orthopedic surgeons and specialise in hips and knees. Yes, they run a YouTube channel called Talking with the Docs. And they both have been running that for quite a while. And what they basically do is tell people what they think in layman terms of different medical conditions, not necessarily just into what they specialise into, which is orthopedic surgery.
Agencies allow vapes to be sold, and the reason was the companies approach the regulatory agencies and says, hey, we have a device that can help people quit smoking.
Right, and the first one actually was way back in 1965.
Yeah.
So here we are now.
It's a great idea, right? If you have something that will help people stop smoking.
Right, because smoking was on the rise back then. It was very, very commonplace. They just had shown that, hey, it's related, directly linked to cancer. We got to get people to stop smoking.
Right.
And this one is a good one to start with. There is no proven direct link to cancer from vaping like there is in cigarettes. Their narrative frames the history of vaping to 1965, where the actual modern day e-cigarette wasn't made until 2003 by Hoyne Lick. And what you're going to find out is loads of misinformation all the way through this video. It's like they've just read it.
So they found a market that is much larger than the people who want to quit smoking market, which is just everybody. And it's no surprise that they're marketing it at younger people, younger adults, or even teens with the many different flavors of a vape.
For them to suggest that flavours are marketed to children and teens is a little bit misleading. Now, I'm an adult and I didn't want to vape tobacco. I wanted a flavour. Now, here in the UK, you have to be 18 to be able to buy a vape. Now, if the shops are selling them to children, that isn't a vape problem. That is an enforcement problem.
And so why is it bad for us? What happens?
Surely, lads, you can't get this one wrong and explain it without maybe scare tactics.
For tobacco, normally a cigarette. Now a vape has a little coil that heats a liquid, and then vaporizes the liquid.
Nothing too controversial there, lads, but you did like the scare tactic of using aerosol instead of vapor. Now, you are correct, it is a scientific name for it, aerosol, but it is used as scare tactics. It is called vapor as well. Little droplets in the air, just like steam, like you'd get off of a kettle. But they wanted to use aerosol instead of vapor.
What happens, medically speaking, are there any diseases that are unique to vaping?
Did you just say diseases?
We like to always put a fancy acronym or a name to different diseases. So the one we've chosen for the disease that happens to your lungs is E-Valley.
Yes.
E-cigarette or vaping associated lung injury. E-Valley. Okay. E-V-A-L-I.
Okay.
And here's a perfect example of misinformation. Now, these are surgeons, they're dressed as doctors, so you would think what they were telling you was exactly the truth. E-Valley was not caused by nicotine vaping. The 2019 US outbreak was traced to illicit THC cartridges cut with vitamin E. Public Health England and the CDC both confirmed it wasn't linked to regulated nicotine vaping. So there you go. It's never ever been linked to nicotine vaping. They're talking about vaping, nicotine vaping, and they're lying.
And that is, the incidence of that is sharply rising, as you would imagine, with the sharply rising use of e-cigarettes.
And you're totally right, lads. It spiked in 2019 and then drastically dropped once they found out that there was illegal THC vapes. Nicotine vaping has never been shown to cause E-Valley.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of things that are bad in vapes, but there's an article that we read that...
Right then, lads, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and use your medical opinion. Hold on a minute, you just said you read it from an article.
But there's an article that we read that broken down into 5 kind of main ones. So we're going to talk about the 5 things in vapes that are bad.
this is going to be fun.
Which one is what? What's the first thing?
It's nicotine.
Well, that's the point, right? Because remember, you're trying to quit smoking. That's why you're vaping now.
And so why does it matter? So nicotine is a stimulant. That's the first thing. The second thing, it's highly addictive. And the third thing, there's good studies to show that it reduces normal brain development in younger people.
It does.
And that's who's doing this.
It does.
Yes, nicotine is addictive. Yes, you are totally right. But addicted doesn't mean deadly. You've only got to look at coffee. The real harm of smoking was the tar, the carbon monoxide, and all the thousands of chemicals that were in there, not nicotine. To claim that nicotine causes cancer is totally wrong, and it's a lie. You've only got to look at Public Health England and the Royal College of Physicians. They have all said that nicotine does not cause cancer. They brought up the brain development study as well. Now, this was done on animals and teens that had heavy exposure to vaping. Now, this isn't anything to do with adults that are on regulated nicotine vapes. They shouldn't be selling them to children anyway. Nicotine isn't the problem. The delivery method is what reduces the harm.
Benzene.
Yeah.
Benzene is one of those chemicals that's also in the child. Benzene is like coming out of a car exhaust, right?
Right, highly flammable, definitely directly linked to cancer.
Not good for you.
Ooh, benzene. Benzene is a really, really scary word. But the thing is, lads, if you walk down any city centre in any part of the world, you will breathe in more benzene than you would do in any vape. Scary words.
Acrolein. This is a substance that has been shown to cause permanent lung damage secondary to vaping. And this is actually a herbicide used to kill weeds.
Acrolein is produced when things burn, like tobacco or wood or things like cooking oil. Even frying pans that overheat create acrolein. The levels of acrolein in actually smoking cigarettes is massively higher than what it is in vaping. And here's to quote Public Health England, exposure to acrolein from vaping is a tiny fraction of smoking exposure. Now they bring up permanent lung damage. Now the studies that they did into this was high dosage inhalation, not regulated vaping. And to link it to weed killer is just scare tactics. Many chemicals are used in many different things, but the context and dose is what matters.
Heavy duty carcinogens like formaldehyde, for example, acetaldehyde.
Like these are used to preserve dead bodies in a morgue. Like you shouldn't be inhaling them.
Both of the chemicals that they've just mentioned there can be produced when the e-liquid is overheated. People who vape call it a dry hit, and believe me, you don't want that at all. In normal use, the levels are far, far lower than what you'd find in cigarette smoke. And again, to quote Public Health England, under normal conditions, harmful chemicals like formaldehyde are at very low levels, much less than smoking. And that's Public Health England. So lads, apparently I'm preserving myself like a corpse in the morgue every time I take a puff. Well, at least I'll look good when I'm gone.
The last one is propylene glycol. So this is more commonly found in paint solvents and antifreeze. You shouldn't be inhaling it.
Yeah.
The propylene glycol that you find in vapes is food grade. Now the ones that you find in antifreeze is industrial grades. There's different types. PG is widely used in all sorts of things such as food, it's used in medicines, it's used in inhalers, it's even used in fog machines. So if it was really that bad for you, how many people on the West End would have been just like falling dead? And they're back trying to scare us with the antifreeze. Well, there's a difference between food grade and industrial grade. And nowadays on the modern antifreeze, it's ethylene glycol that they actually use. Now that is toxic, but PG isn't.
So bottom line is growing industry, growing use, definite lung damage occurs. It's seen, we've named it. We put a label
because there are
on
so many cases.
Yeah, because it just associated with vaping that we named it. And you're getting a bunch of bad chemicals into your body through this vape.
And if you're a kid, don't start.
So that is the 5 bad things that these doctors found in an article. And if we sort of look through it all and take the scary words and all the jokes aside, and we actually look at the science, it's a completely different story. And yes, vaping isn't 100% safe, but it's 95% safer than smoking. Now, this isn't just me telling you this. This is Public Health England. Nicotine doesn't cause cancer. Benzene and acrolein levels are that low compared to smoking. Formaldehyde is when you get a dry hit, and believe me, no vapor wants a dry hit. And PG is in food. Also in fog machines as well. So instead of fear, what we actually need is honest education, proper regulation and real enforcement. That means that adults who want to get nicotine can do it in a safer way, and we can leave the kids out of it. Thank you for sticking with me through this one. Please leave me a comment down below to what you actually think of this. What we need more facts about vaping and less scaremongering. Look after yourself and good night.